Hey everyone, so this is my review of The Gifted, Season 1, Episode 5, called Boxed In, and essentially what this episode is about is that Jace puts all the power he has into the Sentinel service to try and track down the Mutant Underground sort of hideaway. And while that's going on, Blink sort of finally confronts Dreamer about all the weird sort of hallucinations she's been having. And this was a really great and really entertaining episode that was interesting with how it was all shown. And I really enjoyed that a lot of this episode was dedicated to Reed sort of redeeming himself, where he finally makes it to the Mutant Underground and sort of encounters some of the people that he encountered before when he was working with the Sentinel service. And sort of him having to prove himself that he is on their side was really interesting with how it was done. And I really like the fact that Reed is using some of his knowledge from working with Sentinel security in the past to sort of help the mutants now, where he knew like some of the code words that the Sentinel service agents were using and knew like how they would operate when they're trying to hunt down a mutant that's on the run and stuff, that he used that to sort of help them and also used that to sort of draw the Sentinel service in a different direction from where they were. And that was so much fun to see. Then the moments with Eclipse and Polaris in this episode were very interesting, with them sort of trying to figure out the truth of what's going on with like Pulse and why he's now working for Sentinel service. But then also Polaris is getting a bit of revenge for how they treated her. And that was interesting with how it all connected back to Jace. And I really enjoyed seeing that one scene of like the July 15th accident and like where he was and stuff when he lost his daughter. And that was just really interesting with how all that played back into it. And then I really liked how they like brought Dreamer in to sort of try and get the information out of Jace that they wanted to know about Pulse, because of the fact that he wasn't giving it willingly. And then that all connected back to Blink, where Blink saw what Dreamer was doing to Jace, and she sort of made those connections into her head of what happened with her. And that whole conversation I wish would have been shown a bit more than just Blink being like, hey, you did this to me, how dare you, and stuff like that. I wish there would have been a bit more conversation there. But then I really want to know a bit more about Dreamer's powers, where by the end of this episode, Dreamer was doing all this different stuff on Jace, but they were interrupted by Sentinel service. So she made like the comments of, wait, I haven't finished, it's not going to be well for him yet. So like, how does her memory working stuff work that she needs to like reset him or fix him back to normal after she's done? Like, how does that all work? I kind of want to know a bit more about. Because then by the end of this episode, with her not finishing up all her work on Jace, it led to a really, really sad moment that I knew from the minute he stepped out of the car, I knew that this moment was coming, and it hurt so much to watch him realize again that his daughter is dead. And just that was just so sad, and I'm very interested to know what that's going to do to him going forward and what other memories he might be a little bit foggy on. And then I'm also very interested to know with Jace, with how dedicated he is and all this different stuff, like how that might affect him working for Sentinel service in the future. Where is there going to come a point where he's going to want too much and Sentinel service just isn't going to give it to him, and that they're going to rather choose to cut him off than actually continue to do what he wants or something like that. I'm very interested to know how all that's going to work out in the future. And then just overall, this was a really, really fun and amazing episode that was just so entertaining to watch and see how everything played out. So yeah, that's my review of The Gifted, Season 1, Episode 5, called Boxed In. So yeah, bye!